Hey everybody, got another video here for you. So today I'm going to be working on guitar number 12. It has a little bit of fret sprout. So for those of you who are not already familiar with this build, here are the specs for it right quick. It's a headless, the Steinberger trem. It's all mahogany and it has a rosewood fretboard. And it's 25.5-inch scale length with a 16-inch fretboard radius. And it has a scarf joint in the neck. It's not a Gibson style neck, so you don't have issues with headstock snapping off if you drop it, stuff like that. It has the trapezoid neck profile and the flat triangular heel and the Teflon tape coating. For electronics, it has Seymour Duncan, Nazgul, and Sentient pickups, and a kill button, and a mini three-way, and an on-off switch, and a jack down here. And it has the legs / strap bar that you can undo the thumb screws and put it around in different playing positions and actually flip it over, and it becomes the strap bar for using a strap and playing when standing. And it's got the depth pick guard on it so that you don't pick too deep, and makes you a better and faster player actually. And all the controls are rear mounted, and all the electronics in it are internally routed. And that's the basic build there. This is the first guitar that was completed here at the new shop, and it was finished September, so it's like October, November. It's about 4 or 5 months old. It was completed in the fall. It's now the middle of winter, and it has a little fret sprout. So I'm going to be dealing with that today. So the very first step is I need to get these strings out of the way, and since it uses string anchors, I've got like about 0 chance of string to use, so I'm just going to cut them off. Okay, so taking a look at the frets here, at the time it didn't need it, so I didn't round the corners too much. Looks like I just rolled it. The edge is rolled, and the sharpness is right at the very bottom edge along the entire bottom edge here. So I'll take a fret end dressing file and knock off the corners. First I'll take a fret end beveling file and see if there's anything right at the center of the frets that needs to be knocked down, and do that. And then I'll use the fret end dressing file to take down the corners at the bottom, And then if necessary, I'll use the half-round file in order to take down the top edges, the top ends, the ends of the tops, or the tops of the ends. Yeah, I guess it's hard to describe fret ends. Okay, yeah, but actually these are feeling good at the tops. It's just at the bottoms that they're kind of rough. So we'll see how it goes. So what I'm doing here is I'm taking the fret hinge beveling file, infinite angle, any angle you want, and I'm checking for sprout at the very, very center of the fret, and it doesn't really look like it. I mean, here I'm running along the edge of the fingerboard. I'm probably almost a millimeter away from the ends of the frets, and I've got to go to this angle before I feel the teeth starting to touch an end and cut. But still, that's a pretty shallow angle. That's barely 20-30 degrees there. So, and yeah, it actually gets a little worse as I go down this way. So, but there's nothing at the very ends, which means that's all corners and ends at the top, and nothing right at the center sticking out like where the tangs are. Check the other side. Yeah, it's all sloped to about 30 degrees or so. Everything's okay in that respect. These corners, on the other hand, definitely need to be knocked down. So, start with that. So, take a piece of masking tape, tear it in half this way, lengthwise, so I have two clean edges that I can put on either side of my fret. Kind of like that. Using two halves saves on tape. And you want to use tape instead of like a fret guard, because the tape allows you to get right down to the fretboard itself much better than the fret guard. The tape's thinner than the fret guard is. So, had a little delay of game here. I couldn't find my StewMac fret end dressing file. So I jumped on Amazon and I ordered a couple files like next day, and another StewMac, which will be here like in a week. But it does give us a chance to check out like the generic thing from Amazon and a Music Nomad unit. So here we go. So this thing was like ultra cheap from Amazon. Comes with a little brush, little leatherette holder, fake leather, whatever you call it. And this is the file itself. So it's got two sides with teeth on it, and two sides are smooth. So it's basically like a StewMac. And let's see what we got going on here. looks to be a single cut, not crosshatch. Can we get the camera to focus? Yeah, it looks to be a single cut file, and it looks to be the same grit on both sides. So sorry, I'm not doing a good job of staying in frame here, am I? Yeah, okay, so that's candidate number 1. And let me get the other file. And this one here is not StewMac, sorry. This is the Music Nomad file. And it's, okay, that's like a diamond file surface there. And a diamond file surface there. And that side's smooth, round in, and smooth. So, yeah, basically, it's the same kind of idea as this other guy, but this is a traditional file, and this one's a diamond file. So, I think we'll give the diamond a try. Okay, the traditional file is definitely more aggressive, probably twice of it as, maybe 3 times of it as aggressive as this thing is. So, and yeah, I think I'd have to give the nod to this, at least for what I'm doing right here. Maybe start with this thing and then finish with that thing, but I'm not even sure that step would be necessary. So I think I'll continue on with this one. So, to tell you the truth, I'm not terribly impressed with either of these files. Same issue on both of them. The cutting edge doesn't go all the way down to the safe edge. So, right at the bottom corner, it's hard to get that little bottom corner bit of the fret because you don't really have any cutting surface on the side here at the very bottom. It's safe. Yeah, it's safe there, but it's unlike a StewMac, which has a really, really sharp edge between the cutting side and the safe edge. I mean, so sharp you could almost cut it like a razor blade, cut your finger on it. This is a little bit more rounded, and so it doesn't really have cutting teeth right down at the corner on the side of the file. And they're both like that. The corners properly finished, it should be cutting on one side of the corner and it should be smooth on the other. And the top should be cutting on the left half and smooth on the right half. These are smooth all the way across the corners. Yeah, so Yeah, so you can't get down in there and cut right to the very edge. They just won't do it. And you can see the results on the frets too. They tend to, instead of getting right down to the fingerboard, they'll kind of cut, 0.05 millimeters above the fingerboard and kind of leave a little flat spot below it almost of uncut material. Yeah, so I'm not impressed. It's still going to be another week till the StewMac unit gets here. This one also, it's not as aggressive. It doesn't cut as well as the StewMac. And yeah, so I guess I'm just going to suffer long. Yeah, I'm getting good enough results that it's not worth waiting a week for the StewMac unit. Okay, this is working much better. I took one of the cheap diamond files from the refretting kit and I ground a safe edge onto it with the fine side of the grinder. Basically just ground off the diamond stuff. And then I cleaned it up a little. 60 grit in order to make sure it was smooth. And yeah, it's got teeth right down to the edge. It's got cutting surface right down to the bottom edge. The bottom edge is a flat, safe edge, and it cuts nice. It cuts better than this thing. It cuts better than the Music Nomad. Might even cut better than the StewMac even. But yeah, so I think I'm going to continue the work on the frets here with this one here. I think I'd have to say this thing actually works even better than a StewMac fret end dressing file. Yeah, go get yourself a set of cheap diamond files and grind a safe edge onto one of them. It works even better than the StewMac. Okay, got all the bottom corners with the fret end dressing file. Now, just to be thorough, I'm going to get the tops as needed with a half round crowning file. When I say the tops, I mean the ends of the tops, not the actual tops of frets. Okay, I got all the tops of the ends with the half round, and I only went from not on the top of the fret to not rubbing against the fingerboard. So there's only just a very, very small little angle area there that I was filing on. And just hit each one, and it does make a little bit of a difference. So that takes care of that. And now it's down to rolling and rounding and polishing. So I think I'll start with some 320 wrapped around this thing, hit up both sides, and then do it with my fingers, and then run through the grits, doubling the grit number each time, kind of a thing. And then it's on to the buffer and the final polishing of the frets. Slight disclaimer here. When I took the strings off, when I picked the guitar up, the saddles, the little lock thing here wasn't tight or something, and the saddles fell out. And so I just took a best guess as to like which one goes where and where they ought to go for intonation. So the saddle height and the intonation are just best guesses. So it might need some fiddling with. Just making sure that the hardtail lock is on, and yeah, it's on, so the trim doesn't move up or down. And I can string it up and tune it up just like a hardtail, and then I just adjust the thumb screw for the spring and release the lock, and it's ready to go. So that's it. It's all done, tuned up. Action looks okay. I haven't measured it, but it looks okay. It's tuned just a little bit sharp because strings have not been stretched in. I'll play it some, I guess. And if you check in the playlist for the build for this guitar, one of the episodes has tone tests, and you can hear what these pickups sound like and what it sounds like. It obviously still sounds the same. So, but anyway, there's a day in the shop, so to speak, and see you all later. Yeah, it's definitely an improvement over the way they were before, I'd have to say. Definite improvement. It's back to 100%. See you all in the next one. Well, I think that's going to do it for this video. So, until the next one, everybody, have a good one.